Good evening, everyone. It's me, Dr. Plague. We talk a lot about horror on this channel, but the real horror out there is how easy it is for your data to fall in the hands of disreputable people. That's why today's video is sponsored by Aura. While you're enjoying today's spooky video, data brokers, those things that go bump on the web, could already be selling your information to scanners, spammers, and anyone else who may want to target you. Your full name, email, home address, your health records, your relatives, they could all be out there. That's why I've been using Aura. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests, just for me. It was simple to use and very intuitive, and I had barely gotten out of the setup process, and it was already blocking over 20 data broker requests on my behalf. Aura protects your passwords, your banking information, everything you need for day-to-day online life. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it also protects me from hackers who could use my information to help them access my social media accounts, bank accounts, other sensitive information. Things like a certain YouTube channel that you all enjoy listening to so much. Aura also does much more to protect me and my family from online threats, the kind you can't see. It comes with other features like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more, without having to download several different apps. It really is just that easy to set up, and best of all, I get everything at one affordable price. I hear you saying, but Dr. Plague, I have one or two of these tools already. But, dear readers, not having Aura is like locking the front door and leaving the back door wide open. Readers of my fine tales can tell you why that never ends well. Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping me safe so I can focus on other tasks like finishing my latest book or uploading my most recent video. I value my privacy, and I know you value yours. You can go to Aura.com, that's AURA.com, to start your 2-week free trial. You can also check out the link below and start your free trial with Aura. So why not give Aura a try and protect yourself from the real monsters out there? I know I'm going to sound insane to you, but what has been happening to me has freaked me out for many years. For context, I live in the mountains. The little town that I live in used to have a road going through it, and forest on either side. We used to get a lot of visitors around autumn because of how pretty the little town looked. Autumn was where we got a lot of money for hotels and restaurants. Many townsfolk anticipated autumn, but something sinister also comes with the season that affects our little town. The Leopard Man. Some people call him the Furry Man or the Fuzzy Man. Some people call him the Polka Dot Lion. But the most popular name is the Leopard Man. Every autumn, he comes through our town and just stares. He doesn't go in any of the houses. He doesn't attack anyone. Some of the townspeople have said that they've gotten real close to him, and they can see that his eyes are bloodshot red. He breathes heavily. He's got the odor of death stuck to him. Many townspeople find him very unsightly and try to keep the talk of him so low that the tourists can't hear about him. Keep the economy stable, you understand. But every year, he comes down the road, walks through the town, and leaves into the forest. I always thought he was harmless, until I had my first and final interaction with him. I was about 6, I guess. Wasn't very helpful to either of my parents. Loved to play outside, and when I couldn't, I threw a big hissy fit about it. I usually played in the front yard with my favorite soccer ball. I absolutely loved that ball. But one day, I accidentally kicked it into the forest. I didn't mean to, and I went to ask my parents if I could go get it. They said no, and when I suggested that maybe me or my mom or me or my dad could walk to the other side of the street and into the woods to get it, they still said no. I was pretty sad, cried my eyes out all day. I was a mess when I went to bed, and I was still really sad. Couldn't go to sleep. I kept thinking about it, just staring through the window, hoping I could sneak out before my parents would catch me. But then he came and stared through the window. The leopard man is a danger and shouldn't be messed with. I freaked out and ran to the corner of my room, trying to shield my eyes from him. He gestured that I should open the window, but I was too scared. Then the leopard man held something up. My soccer ball. It was deflated, but I didn't care. The leopard man had it, and I wanted it back. He gestured again that I should open the window, and this time I did. I cracked it, just a little bit. I was still really scared of him, and he smelt foul. "Well, well, well, I believe this is yours," said the leopard man, holding up the deflated soccer ball. "Yeah, that's mine. How'd you find it?" I said, prying the window just a little bit more open. "Well, I've been observing you, and I know just how deeply you care about that ball. When you kicked it into the forest and couldn't get it back, I felt sad for you, so I trekked through the woods and found it, and I'm now giving it back to you. It's ruined. It has a big hole in it. I can't play with it anymore," I said, looking disappointed. "Don't be sad. Here, if you come out of the house, me and you can trek to the fixie-uppy house, and we can get it fixed in no time." I thought about it, but shook my head. "You're a stranger. I don't even know who you are. And how do you know where I live?" "Well, I work with the Tooth Fairy, and together we know all the names of the boys and girls around the globe. I know your name's William. I know who your mommy and daddy are. Would I really be a stranger if I knew what your name was?" I thought about it. It was true. Strangers don't know the names of little boys and girls, or who their parents are. I guess not," I said. "See, I'm not a stranger. I'm your friend, and friends help each other. That's what I'm trying to do for you. So if you crawl out the window, me and you can meet all my friends, and the fairies living in the forest, too," said the leopard man. I was hooked. I wanted to meet all his friends, and I wanted to get my soccer ball back. So I pried the window up and crawled through it. One thing that I didn't notice was that the leopard man was big. He had been less big than my dad. My dad's about 6'2", and he squeezed my hand so hard that I was afraid he was going to break it. As we walked, I could tell that he was breathing really hard, and all he talked about was how he couldn't wait for me to see his friends at the house. We walked for quite a while, and we finally came to a clearing where I saw a house. It looked like it had been abandoned for years. The roof was caving in, the windows were broken, and all you could see was darkness. "Is this your house?" I asked. "Yes. Doesn't it look so fun?" said the leopard man. I didn't think so. "I want to go home. This is scary," I said, trying to yank my hand back. "No, you're not going anywhere now. This is your home forever. You're going to meet all my wonderful friends," the leopard man said. He pulled me into the house, and I smelled something really bad. Tried to cover my mouth and nose from the smell, but I was trying very hard not to cry, too. The inside of the house wasn't much better than the outside. The floors, the walls, they were all decaying. The man led me to the basement, and the smell was absolutely horrible. He gripped onto my hand even tighter, and I kept telling him that he was hurting my hand, but he just kept walking down the stairs, breathing hard. When we got to the bottom, all my eyes could make out were shelves lining the walls with round things on them. The leopard man told me to sit, and he went to turn on the basement light. As he did, he said, "I'm so excited that you can finally see my friends, William." The light turned on. The light allowed me to see what was in the room, and I screamed. The round things were heads, and they were on every shelf with labels over them. In the middle of the room, there was a pole with flesh on it, a pole going horizontal across. It was as if two poles were making a cross. I screamed and ran up the stairs. I looked back and I could see the leopard man running behind me, trying to grab my clothes and pull me back down. I ran out through one of the doors and into the forest. I didn't know where to go, so I hid in some brush. I couldn't go to sleep. I was too scared, and all night long I heard screaming and running. He was trying to get to me, and I tried to hold my crying until morning. I survived the night and eventually made it back to my house early in the morning. My parents didn't even notice I was out. Frankly, I was too scared to tell them I had snuck out. I told no one my experience, and frankly, I would keep it a secret for the rest of my life if it wasn't for the news story. They found the house. Turns out the leopard man was just some creep. He liked messing with kids and cutting off their heads, displaying them on shelves as his sick trophies. He was insane. He stuck all their organs into a cross to worship the one who shall live forever, whatever that means. I'm scared, but I'm bringing the story to you so no one has to live through the hell like I did. Screw that leopard man. Screw whoever still relates to him. He can die in hell for all I care. You're still here. Thanks so much for joining us for tonight's spooky tale. If you'd like a little bit more spooky in your life, why not click on one of the videos that appears at the end of our story? Or maybe head on over to one of our playlists where you can get your fill of spooky content. If you like your spooky a little more tactile, I've got a new book that's come out. If you'd like your own copy, there's a link below in the description where you can get your own copy of my spooky book. If you like what you see here on the channel and think you might like to support in a more monetized way, then why not come over to Patreon or become a member on YouTube? Speaking of, let's go ahead and thank our members now. Thanks to Civ Garstead, Unicorn Hollow, and Army Dude for being our Spooky Ghost contributors. Thanks to Janet, Lee Kendall, Psycat, Rhonda J, Sue Casper, and Valinator for being our Spooky Skeleton contributors. And thanks to Oh Snap, Hi Stacy, Winter, Zeronin, Stephanie Carrington, Tyler Parker, Cinnamon Fox, Grim Reaper, Tomboy Top Uwu, and Queen Sheba for being our Ghostly Reader tier contributors. And a big thanks to Scott Donahue for being our Ghostly Writer tier contributor. Thanks, everyone. We just couldn't do the show without you. If you'd like to support the channel, then come on down to Patreon or become a member on YouTube. Spooky Skeleton tier contributors, that's our $5 tier, get their spooky 12 hours early at 8:30 a.m. as opposed to 8:30 p.m. My time, of course. And while Ghostly Reading is only a tier that's available on Patreon, you get a signed copy of my book anytime I write one on your doorstep in, hopefully, a timely manner. If you'd like a book, we have many on Amazon. I've got links below if you'd like to follow those. Should get you to my page so you can buy any one of my 8 books I believe we're up to now. I'm sure they'd look really nice on your shelf, and I'll sign them for you if you can find me out in the wild. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Dr. Plague, signing off. Have a wonderful evening.